When you have fighters that want to make fights, that want to make the best fights, it makes the job much easier. And we have an opportunity to bring boxing back. Boxing was on a hiatus. With these fights that you saw tonight, that you're going to see in September, that you saw with Anthony Joshua, future fights that are going to take place, boxing is back, bigger and better than ever. It's just like everything. It's like basketball when they lost Kobe. It's like any other sport. You have your ups and downs. Boxing always has its ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. Right now, we are living a great moment in the sport of boxing, and we're going to continue it for a long time.
Well, Dave, we know Oscar De La Hoya, head of Golden Boy Promotions, so he has to push the fight between Canelo and Triple G, which will be happening September 16th. But he says boxing is back, is what he says. He said, hold on, just like Kobe.
Remember, he's an LA guy.
But Kobe just retired last year.
He's a California guy, right? That's Oscar out there. He's like anything that happens outside of the Lakers he doesn't really know about. So he's got to go to the Kobe reference.
Can this fight put boxing really back on the map, so to speak?
Absolutely. Here's the deal with boxing, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Boxing never dies. It does hibernate. It'll go away for a little while. It has gone away. But he's right about the Joshua and Klitschko fight. That was a couple weeks ago in Wembley Stadium when you had over 100,000 people in England watching that fight. And it was heavyweight boxing, non-American fighting, and yet it's still registered because people do enjoy boxing. It seems like everybody goes, oh, who watches boxing anymore? If you give them a reason to watch, they will come out. And Floyd Mayweather is not the highest earning athlete year in and year out by chance. It's because when he fights, people watch and they pay money to go see it. So this Canelo and Triple G fight, people will pay for it, people will watch it because they're starved for it. Boxing is kind of like, you don't want to say it's gone the way of horse racing, but back in the day, it was the king of American sports. Both of those sports were. Horse racing still comes out for 3 races a year, and people watch. Boxing for maybe 2 fights a year, people will watch. This will be one of them. Will it be bigger than Mayweather and Pacquiao? Probably, because that fight took a little bit too long, a couple years too long to actually happen.
This one took a little bit longer than expected.
It did, but I think the timing feels right for this. That they waited just enough time for Canelo, the king of Mexico, and he beat Chavez Jr. easily to win that title, right? And now you get all of that population, of the Mexican population, to go to Vegas to watch this fight against Triple G, who comes over from Kazakhstan, who is recognized right now as pound for pound the best fighter in the world.
But do people really know Triple G? Boxing fans know Triple G, but just the casual fan, do they know Triple G? Because understand, he cut his teeth over in Germany. He only came over to the United States a few years ago, but he already had a big resume, but he was over there kind of out of the spotlight.
I think that's what I mean by the timing feels right, that the American paying audience that's going to have to pay for this pay-per-view now might have an understanding of, well, who is, I might not know exactly who he is, but I've heard how good he is, the casual sports fan. And now Canelo Alvarez, because he's fought the Floyd Mayweathers, because he has fought some of the best fighters currently still active in the sport, people pretty much know who he is already. And now it's this relative unknown outside of the boxing circles, as you mentioned. I think that curiosity will bring them in. I've heard how good this Triple G is. Let's find out, because we know how good Canelo is. So now we'll find out just how good Triple G is, if he's worth my dollar, my 60, 70 bucks, whatever it might be, come September 16th for the pay-per-view. And I think that spectacle, that kind of unknown, boxing fans know, but the casual fan might not. Let's find out just how good this Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, the tough name to say. Let's find out if he's one of boxing's greats that we've been kind of hearing through the woodworks, that maybe he's one of the best of all time.
But don't we need an American note for boxing to be back? Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, you know, a Floyd Mayweather. Like, for it to be a guy who's from, like, Kazakhstan and to be a guy that's from Mexico, we need that American flavor. Can Americans really be back into it and be all in when neither one of these guys are American?
Yes, because we've seen it before with guys like Manny Pacquiao from the Philippines, that the American fight fan will back. So the Klitschkos were tough because even though they dominated the heavyweight division, they kept fighting in Europe. The advantage of having a guy like Manny Pacquiao when he was in his heyday was he would fight in the United States. Triple G is now coming abroad, coming over from Europe and fighting predominantly in the States. And that's why we're starting to know him. If you were confused as to who he is, all you have to do now, you'll see him every 6 months fighting in New York City, fighting in Las Vegas. He is now taken to the States. So while he's not an American-born fighter, the American fight fans are starting to see him more and more on the regular. So that's why this fight has to be in the United States. It will be in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why this will be the biggest fight that we've seen in boxing in years.
You know, they keep saying that Tiger Woods is back, and that never really materializes.
Who says that? Tyler Jacobs?
So I'm a doubter, Dave. I think this will be a big-time fight. I think it will be an exciting fight, but I wouldn't necessarily say boxing will be back. I think it will just be in the spotlight.
It's got the chance that if people are driven to this fight, like I think they will be on September 16th, Oscar De La Hoya is right. It has a chance to put boxing back on the map.
We shall see. Triple G versus Canelo. We've been waiting for it for a long time, and we'll be discussing it as it comes to us on September 16th.